At Cambodia's Tuo Sleng Genocide Museum, 94-year-old survivor of the Khmer Rouge regime, Chum May, sells a memoir describing his experience in the prison that once stood here. This site was one of the most notorious interrogation centres of the radical communist movement that ruled Cambodia for 4 years. As the country marks 50 years since the fall of capital Phnom Penh to the Khmer Rouge, Chum is welcoming a new law enacted last week that forbids denying the atrocities the group committed.
Who dares to say there was no genocide? Who said that? This is evidence. My finger broke. They hit me, and I used my hand to cover me. One of my ears and one of my eyes cannot be used. And they pulled the nail out of my right toe with a plier. Why was it not a genocide? As for my family, my 4 children and my wife were all killed.
The Khmer Rouge took power in 1975 against the backdrop of civil war in Cambodia. Led by Pol Pot, the hardline Maoist group looked to create a pure agrarian society free of class, politics and capital. During their rule, about a quarter of the population, or at least 1.5 million people, died due to starvation, disease, overwork or execution.
When you starved and stole vegetables, and if the Khmer Rouge soldiers caught you, you would be killed, regardless of whether you were an adult or a child.
The brutal regime ended in 1979 after an invasion led by communist neighbour Vietnam. But the tumultuous period is still used to justify the long-running rule of the Cambodian People's Party, which has been in power for over 4 decades. And the country's new law could see anyone who denies the genocide face 5 years in prison or be hit with hefty fines. Some activists say it's an attempt to quash opposition in the country and could be used to suppress free speech and dissent.
I think that's a mistake. A population that's fearful to discuss will even be more fearful to question. Because you want them to question, you want them to be skeptical. It's giving opportunities to scholars, to historians, to politicians, to leaders to address skepticism and questionings.
Despite opposition to the legislation, Cambodians say there is no debate the Khmer Rouge was responsible for one of the worst massacres of the 20th century. Yet the ruling party has accused opposition politicians of trying to revise history, allegations they reject.
Cambodians will still continue to say that genocide took place in Cambodia. And nobody can deny this.
But critics are continuing to push against the new law, saying it doesn't actually seek accountability for the wrongs committed by the Khmer Rouge, and asking whether it serves any purpose in a country still healing from the wounds of the past. James Lin and Rosie Grenenger for TaiwanPlus.